Hey, Danielle Edwards here with REMAX Executive, your Charlotte Realtor, and it's 2022 and the game has changed. And I really want to touch on what you need to be doing to get that offer accepted. And let's just jump right in. Okay, so a few years ago, completely different story. Now, the three questions you need to be thinking is how much money do you have that you want to spend on that house? So the first is due diligence money. To take the home off the market, you're going to be asked to write a check to the seller to take it off the market. For example, a house maybe priced around $400,000. I'm seeing due diligence checks around $10, $12, $16,000. These buyers are writing to get that house. Now, the good news is you get it back at closing. But how is that due diligence money at risk? Well, during that due diligence period, you're doing two major things. You're getting the home inspected and you're getting the home appraised. Now, as your realtor, I'm going to help you with that. And I'm not an inspector by any stretch of the imagination. But when we're at the house, we're going to really try and rip it apart as much as we can. And we're going to look at comps to figure out if we think it'll appraise and all that good stuff. But there is a chance you write a check for $16,000 and the house comes back with a bunch of issues. And the seller's like, you're going to walk away from $16,000? Of course you're not, right? So there's that. So you got to deal with that. Most sellers do the right thing and they might fix a few things, but this is what you're up against. As is addendums. Buyers, I have buyers, we will write up an as is addendum, which is basically like, hey, I'm going to take the risk no matter what this inspection finds, we will take it as is. I don't always recommend that. It's definitely on a case-by-case basis, but something to think about. And again, with the appraisal, right? You're buying this house, the list price is rock bottom. Like that's the lowest offer they're probably going to get. Like, don't even think of like if your max is 450, then we need to be looking in the 420s, right? So on average, homes are selling 8% over list price for the 10 like homes. Everything's perfect, great location, etc. On average is about 3% over list. So you're paying over list. Is it going to appraise? Well, I don't know, right? So we're going to talk about that. If I think it will appraise, if it won't. So you've written this due diligence check for $16,000. We got to get through the inspections. Maybe you did as is, maybe you didn't. And then we got to get through the appraisal. Now, chances are it might not appraise if you paid way over list, which brings me to step two, something called an appraisal addendum or a gap addendum, which is also very risky, but this is what you're up against. Show me the money. I used to call it buying the listing before it was so crazy. Oh, they're just saying 550, right? And then it'll appraise for 500 and they're going to come back to us and want to change the contract price. Well, now you have 10 offers that are all 20,000 over list. What's the next question? Okay, well, if it doesn't appraise, how much are you going to pay buyer to pay that appraisal gap to get it closer to contract price? So if you're under contract for 450 and it appraises for 420, people are writing appraisal addendums. I'll pay that $30,000 gap if it's up to contract price. Does that make sense? So this is what you have to be thinking about. You need to be thinking about this before you find the house. Because when you find the house, it's going to be like this, quick, quick, quick. So you need to be thinking, how much money of due diligence are you willing to risk when you find that house? Do you have the funds outside of your down payment for your loan and your closing costs? This has nothing to do with that. This is extra cash that you're going to pay if it doesn't appraise. And you may or may not have it, and that's okay. But if you have that, I'm going to ask you, what's your appraisal gap? Do you want to do that to make your offer more competitive? So due diligence, appraisal gap, and then obviously how much over list price you feel comfortable going. So those are the three major things. I know it's scary, but that's what I'm here for, is to guide you through that, walk you through that. My expertise and knowledge of all the wonderful things I know that goes wrong with homes is going to really help you make that educated decision in our market. Interest rates are in your favor and you're not renting. So my best advice is to get pre-approved and let's get you ready to go find that house and really start thinking about those numbers, because it's an important part And I forgot that. So the 16,000 due diligence or the 10,000, whatever that check is you write to the seller, you get that back at closing towards your closing costs. So it comes back to you. The only way you lose it is if you back out of the deal. If for some reason your job transfer falls through, you decide you don't want the house, something goes south. So it's very, very risky. So I hope you found that helpful. I look forward to working with you. If you have any questions or comments, do me a favor, stick them below. Hit a little like button. It really helps other people see me. So look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.